Hey, what's up guys? UrAvgWarGamer is back with another video for the Warships. And today, I'm going to be taking a look at top 5 most powerful ships that Wargaming has added and released in 2025. I'm going to be explaining the reason why they are really powerful, and unfortunately some of them are premiums that you can only get them with the help of money because they are behind the loot boxes or some other currency which Wargaming has covered in the form of I don't know what, like bundles or something, which I would highly discourage, and I don't like this whatsoever, that Wargaming does that in a very, very bad way possible. Like, it's very, very, enticing to get these premiums, but at the same time, it's very bad because it's going to be asking you guys a lot of money, which is not good whatsoever for, like, if you spend, like, over $100 worth of, I would say, a pixel ship, if you send that much money, I don't think so that's a good idea. I mean, you can buy like a couple of other games, AAA title games for like maybe for $120 you get 2 of them, maybe 3 of them, if they are in discount. So definitely I do not encourage buying those ships, but I will be explaining that they are in fact really powerful. Unfortunately, that's the reality. But let's talk about these ships and why in my opinion they are good. And by the way, there are some ships that you can actually buy for yourself for free. So it's not like all doom and gloom. We still have some ships that I can explain. So let's talk about our number 5th ship, and that is going to be the Utrecht, which you can clearly see here. It is fortunately very much grindable, and in my opinion this is a light cruiser version of the Goudenleeuw, which is a Dutch cruiser, the heavy cruiser, which have airstrikes, and Utrecht also recently got released, and well, it's actually very, very powerful. In fact, I really liked it because of many reasons. One of the reasons is that, well, if you love Goudenleeuw, I think you will like this light version of Goudenleeuw. I mean, Goudenleeuw is like heavy cruiser. It's a light cruiser. It kind of resembles to that of Worcester, which is an American light cruiser, but having differences, which I will be explaining if you don't know. Now, first of all, if I talk about the guns, it has built-in, just like German's 32mm pen. The caliber is destroyer level, like you can see here 128mm guns, and that's why the alpha or the AG shells damage is actually really bad, almost 1.6k, which does not, I would say, make me impressed to look at, but again it does have improved HE penetration like 32mm, which means that you can farm easily battleship like British ones, the French ones, and some of the other battleship that has 32mm plating and low, and you can maybe abuse some of the armor platings if they are bowing in. You can just farm them easily, which is a good advantage for a light cruiser guns, or I would say destroyer caliber guns. Also, the main feature of this ship is obviously that I liked that it has airstrikes. Now, if you are a fan of Goudenleeuw, well, they have made them even more comfortable by giving them 14km range. You have 33% fire chance. The reticle of that bomb is not like bigger, it's actually smaller. If maybe I can show you, or if you have maybe seen the gameplays of the Utrecht, yes, it's a bit difficult than Goudenleeuw to just land a strike, but man, they reload like crazy. 38.3 seconds of reload time is just insane. You will just constantly be able to set fires upon fires upon fires on battleships, and that's why the DPM of the Utrecht is not exactly like Goudenleeuw, but it's still very respectable at 290k. I think the Worcester has 390k, if I can maybe show you that. But yeah, this combination is pretty lethal. I'm not gonna lie, you will set a lot of fires. The Witherer in Utrecht is not difficult. And by the way, if you have Conrad Helfrich, which I am here, like I'm having here right now, I mean, one of the talents that you can, proc is with Witherer. So you can have a main battery reload time and the airstrike armament reload time buffed with this captain, which is making Utrecht even more powerful. Although, you can always use this on Goudenleeuw. Both are very viable if you use the Conrad Helfrich, but I like this on Utrecht more. And also, main shell alpha damage increasing on the Utrecht is also a nice thing. So if you get like 150k damage, you will be able to get 6% alpha damage improvement. Like, it can go like, I don't know how much, but yeah, 6%, you can always check that out. And you can have even a single airstrike, like the 3rd airstrike, with the help of this. So yeah, total of 3 airstrikes rather than 2 is a big buff. 50% buff on the airstrikes, and they reload so quickly, it's gonna be absolutely insane. Also, it has access to speed boost, and it has very tighter turning circle. And that's the reason why if the battleships even try to farm this ship, and if you have a good idea of speed juking, like you just super slow down and use your speed boost and use your acceleration mod to your best, it's very difficult to hit him. Like this, the profile of the Utrecht is very small. As you can see here, this whole ship almost feels like slightly like bigger than destroyers, but almost like destroyers. So it's very difficult to hit. And boy, because of difficulty hitting him, they have given it a speed boost to make it even more difficult. It can just maybe accelerate, not like Henry IV, like the French tier 10 cruiser, but relatively good. And that's why it's difficult to shoot him, even though the armor might feel like bad. And the shell velocity of these shells are pretty nuts for 128mm guns. They are so super easy to land. I'm not gonna lie. I'm kind of surprised to see the shell velocity is very on easy mode. And that firing battery range is pretty respectable, and at 17 kilometer, you have no difficulty shooting targets at long ranges. It's very good, and using the islands as cover, maybe someone smoking you up in division, there are many things that you can do. And also you have really good anti-air defense. Most people will say that, like what you are saying, anti-air defense, good in this game. Yes, the carriers do come and try to farm you there, even in the Utrecht, but again, your profile is small, it's difficult to land bombs, it's difficult to land tops because you have speed juking capabilities, you have a good chance in dodging CVs, but that's the only way to counter them. And I don't want to talk about this further, but I can tell you that the anti-air numbers are really good. Almost 800 medium AA range guns damage with 4 kilometer aura is actually good. And I'm telling you, as a CV player, you will definitely going to be shooting down planes, and CV is going to be having a hard time, unless you might lose AA, maybe from the HE volleys of Thunder or something. Maybe some powerful HE salvo can wreck your AA, but even then, I think it's really good. Maneuverability, pretty decent, 36.8 knots. You can go almost 40 knots with the help of speed boost. Rudder shift, turning circle good, and concealment is pretty good, like Worcester. Great cruiser. If you are looking to play this ship, I'm definitely gonna say you can just farm more than 200k damage. No problem with the help of airstrikes. It's absolutely insanely good, no matter what. Definitely worth it at number 5. Okay, so at number 4, I would say this cruiser, Incheon, which unfortunately was in the form of bundles, and you can only get it for money. And it was so ridiculous, the amount of, I would say, cost that it will gonna be for me is gonna be so much that I even didn't spend that money to get this ship. Just for you guys. I just cannot. It's gonna cost me a lot of money because it's RNG. I don't know. The chance is like 0.6%. I have talked about that Wishing Wharf event. This was that cruiser, and they have put that in that sort of bundle. Unfortunate. But another unfortunate thing is that it is one of the very strongest cruisers that Wargaming has added. It's basically a Des Moines, which is an American heavy cruiser, almost like that in terms of gun performance, but I would say better because it has 8 guns. As you can see, these are Des Moines guns. Absolutely everything basically looks like Des Moines. HE, AP, improved pan angles like Des Moines, but it's in a Pan-Asian cruiser with its own flavor. Like you have the smoke. I cannot show you. You have the smoke, you have the torpedo reload booster, you have the heal. And man, your HE DPM, I think it's slightly worse. Just like because it has like 8 guns, that's why. But man, they have destroyer dispersion. This cruiser has destroyer dispersion compared to the Des Moines cruiser dispersion, which means you will be landing more shell like onto the ships. And man, you have the smoke, Pan-Asian smoke, and on top of that you have like those deep water torpedoes, which you can see you have like 4 torpedoes on each side, which makes it pretty powerful, to be honest. These guns will gonna be wrecking cruisers if they show broadside, and you can just always smoke yourself up and you can just farm tons of damage with these Des Moines guns. Although the good thing is that you can have a sort of a better version of Incheon, sort of better. I'm not gonna say better, but it's like toe to toe, neck to neck, which is the Jinan, which is the Tech 3 light cruiser. This is a heavy cruiser version of the Pan-Asian cruiser, and the Jinan is a light cruiser version. That's sort of the difference that I can think of. But Jinan has like tons of torpedoes. You can just spam so many torpedoes. But meanwhile, you have these harder hitting having more penetration, HE penetration, hard hitting AP punchy guns, that just makes it really strong. And with destroyer dispersion, that's a big thing for me. And it can carry games because it's definitely powerful because of these characteristics. So unfortunately you cannot get it, but this is, in my opinion, very strong cruiser that they have added in this year 2025 at number 4. Alright, so at number 3, I would say the hull. The Research Bureau recently released destroyer is extremely powerful, and you can get it for obviously Research Bureau points. I believe that this destroyer has insane potential. Like you are in a destroyer hull and you don't have the Citadel, and that's what makes it really good. And why I'm saying that Citadel word on this destroyer, I mean it's a destroyer, but why you have even talked about the Citadel? Because even though it's a destroyer, it has cruiser guns. I was talking about the Des Moines guns on that Incheon. Well, here it is. You can have the Des Moines guns on a destroyer, which is kind of insane. And now you have these guns that reload super quickly. You can already see the numbers. The HEDPM is exactly not like Des Moines. It's definitely lower, but for balancing reasons, I can clearly see. But you can buff it quite a lot with the help of the captain skills, with this Fearless Brawler, and if you want to improve it even more with the main battery and A Specialist, you can get it up to like 200k HEDPM. So that can really close the distance between maybe the Des Moines DPM and your DPM. So that is pretty insane for a destroyer. And then you have destroyer dispersion, and then you have really good reload time, and then you have this AP that just Citadel cruisers at 12-13 kilometer, and your firing range is as impressive as you can see, 14.8 kilometer. The shell velocity, by the way, is better than Des Moines. It's surprising to see that the shell velocity is actually better on the hull than on the Des Moines. So you're getting better things overall. The only thing you might be consider that is slightly worse, and that is like barely worse, and that is like your AP alpha is 4.9k, and your AP penetration compared to the Des Moines, because again these are cruiser guns, and I would directly compare it with Des Moines, only having 10% less penetration, just barely 10% less penetration at long ranges compared to Des Moines, which is basically negligible. You can still be able to Citadel cruisers, and you can just pop up in the middle of nowhere, and you will just start to Citadel that cruiser, and you will most likely be able to kill him, because he will not going to have a chance in dealing against you. And I mean, you don't have a Citadel, so how they will be managing to kill you? But you might be thinking, oh, okay, but Hull can do that, your HEDPM is fine, but you might not have enough survivability. But here it is, Wargaming has somehow managed to give Hull not the smoke, which is unfortunate, but given it a even more powerful thing that I think it's really good, because smoke means that you have to rely on someone else spotting, and not having smoke but instead of heal means that you can spot for yourself by shooting the guns, and meanwhile he will just get spotted by your own sort of vision. So that's, I would say, a better trade compared to the smoke, and that's what Hull gets. And man, Hull get like 7.2k healing potential 4 times, and with the pen damage that it can heal is 60%, which is better than 50%, which is better than Nustrashimi. And Nustrashimi cannot able to utilize that heal. I mean, the heal is not exactly like Nustrashimi. It's not like very big, powerful heal. It's slightly less potential, maybe if I compare it to Nustrashimi, which is again the cold destroyer that you might know. But man, you can just heal all of these. You can utilize all of the potential from these repair party, and you can get almost 60,000 HP worth in the hull. That is insane. You are a destroyer, but your HP is definitely getting almost as close as those of cruisers, like cruisers. And if I really talk about the Austin, then it's very getting close to that because of the super heal. So you can already see like why this is super powerful. And then on top of that, you have torpedoes, not a lot. This is a Sherman hull if you don't know. And well, even then it's really good. You can still have some torpedoes. You do have anti-defense, and you do have 6.9 kilometer firing range. Like That is a big aura. And by the way, the long range AA is, I mean, it's average, but with the defensive AA fire, it can actually get better with 100% continuous AA damage, which only the American ships get. And that is pretty good. With this and with defensive AA fire, you can actually shoot down planes. And your flags are absolutely nightmare. If a CV eats a flag, because these are really powerful flags, these are buffed, flags compared to, I would say, the Sherman. I mean, if I just compare it with Sherman, just for the perspective, look at the Sherman's shell explosion damage, 1750. Oh, look at that. That's like 1,000 damage increase over Sherman in the shell flag explosion. I mean, and you have more shell explosions in a salvo. So it's pretty good. Overall, with defensive fire, it gets good. Otherwise, it's average. And even then, because you have heals, you can survive CV attacks. So you are not like in a tough situation, even in the CV games. I'm not gonna lie. You can actually shoot down planes. If he tries to focus you in a terrible position, you might be having issues. But like if you are having a fight with destroyer and the CV farms you, that's a crossfire that the CV can make with any other destroyer. It's not like the hull that will alone gonna suffer. So, and the concealment is also like really good, 6.5 kilometer concealment. If you want to build it, you can do this, but if you don't, 7.2 kilometer concealment is pretty, I would say, powerful. Like, basically you can just smash cruisers. Ambush cruisers, I would say. It's so good. And farming battleships, long range, oh boy. And with the engine boost, yeah. Too good to be not in your port. You should be having that ship. It's a must destroyer. I must say, it's so unique. It's a must destroyer. There's no destroyer that has this insane AP level penetration in the game. No destroyer that has cruiser caliber guns in the game. I don't see a destroyer like this. It's so interesting and good. And this is available for free. So it's at number 3 for me. Alright, so the next ship, well, it's not a ship. It's a submarine. Oh my god. I know, guys, that this is submarine, and I have to say that they have made this submarine an abomination, an absolute broken. It's literally insane submarine that they have added in the game in 2025, and I will be explaining why that it has straight up power crept the Thresher, which is its rival Tech 3 Tier 10 submarine. The Thresher, the British submarine, it's also a British submarine. I will be making a comparison that why I'm saying this. But unfortunately, again, the same fate that it's in the bundles. You can only get it in the form of bundles and you have to spend a lot of money, which again is nothing that I can do with. Like I cannot spend like stupid amount of money. So I don't have this ship. So what is this ship? I will be explaining and comparing it with the Thrasher later, but let's be real here. Wargaming has decided to give this submarine torpedoes that damage like alternate torpedoes. Normal torpedoes, destroyer level damage, you are getting in the homing torpedoes, by the way. These are homing torps. We're talking about 13.2k damage, and by the way, you can improve it by 7% with the help of upgrade, can get it up to 14,000. So you have almost 14,000 damage on these torpedoes that have pinging mechanics built in it. You can ping these torpedoes, you can home these alternating ridiculous torpedoes. Like Palau has like what? I don't exactly remember. 14k, 15k, 16k level of torpedoes, alternate torpedoes. Like most of these submarines have alternate torpedoes that comes across this threshold. And Seal has disgusting ping mechanic with these damage level of torps. What is this balance? And by the way, funny enough, these are 90 knots of torpedoes. And by the way, you can increase their speed to 95 knots. And by the way, their detection is 1.9 kilometer. Their reaction time is already 7.9 seconds. I will be showing you that in the shiptool.st and we'll be comparing it with Thrasher to just make you even more clearer that why I'm sort of ranting about this submarine. It's so ridiculous. I mean, what Wargaming has literally done, that they have given the torpedo speed 95 knots with 14k damage, and if you might not want to ping a battleship, so you can maybe play it like a stealthy torpedo boat destroyer suddenly, then you're just able to land torpedoes. Like these torpedoes have a detection like those of, I would say, gearing. The reaction time is like 7.5, 7.6 seconds, something like that, with the torpedo speed of 95 knots. Go figure, with the really impressive detection of 1.9 kilometer. Like you can already see the reaction time. Yeah. This is because of the mod. So you can just improve it even further. I mean, and then you can ping them. Double ping means like instant maybe like 50,000 HP gone. Cruiser's gonna get dev strike in this ship. In the submarine. Cruiser's literally going to get dev strike. Pinging mechanic is again pretty ridiculous. It's not like the homing has got nerfed or something in this. Homing is still like insane. Just like the normal submarines, it also have like stupid homing. And then you have this insane damage level. Yes, the DPM, which I will be explaining now, that it's worse, but it has a couple of other things which I will be mentioning just to let you know that what is this ridiculous ship. Okay, so here it is. There's a Thrasher, there's a Seal. Now the first thing that comes into my mind maybe is the diving capacity, okay? Now here the things are a bit different. The Thrasher does have some slightly better units, 340 units means versus Seal's like 300 units. Maybe that might be sort of a balancing. You might say, oh, okay, Thrasher has better dive capacity, so that's a good thing. The Seal is sort of in not a powerful state compared to Thrasher. Well, you're wrong. Look at the consumables. You have reserve battery. Thrasher doesn't have reserve battery. You can have 3 reserve batteries, which is like 30, 60, 90 seconds, and possibly more than 100 seconds of action time if you have the reserve battery unit modification, whatever that you can upgrade with the help of the mod in the upgrade section. Go figure. You can have 3 of them. And then you have pretty much similar characteristics in the subsurface. Like, there's no downside with these sort of consumables. It has everything like Thrasher has, except it has more. And then you have the sap shells like Thrasher. You have the ping that lasts for longer time. And you have better range. Yes, the ping, maybe the sonar reload time is higher. But again, I mean, you can just ping after 9 seconds. It's not going to change anything, right? Your wave speed is 800 meters per second. So they will be fast. The ping is going to be, the wave speed is going to be so fast. And then you have main battery shells I have talked about. And then overall, your HP is better than Thrasher. Like, come on. Come on. It's not even fun. Your air detection is better. Your speed is better. Like, straight up power creep. Straight up. Like, it's literally like, we want to get money from you guys. We're going to be power creeping the Thrasher by the introduction of Seal. So, yeah, it's done and dusted. Yes, the torpedo DPM, yeah, it does not look that good. 63,000 versus 85. But again, you don't need to ping that much compared to the Thrasher, because torpedoes reload of the Thrasher is significantly better. And that's why you have to ping a lot in the Thrasher. Meanwhile, if you want to play it as a torpedo boat destroyer, you just send these 6 torpedoes in the front. Yes, it does not have the back torpedoes like the Thrasher, 3 of them. But still, you send 6 torpedoes and you have 13 kilometer range, and you basically still be able to land all those torpedoes even without the ping. Go figure. Look at the reaction time. The Seal has better reaction time than Thrasher. It tells a lot. And the torpedo damage. I don't know. That's straight up power creeping the Thrasher, man. I don't know, man. Hey, man. This is definitely extremely powerful. If there is someone who has a Seal, he knows what he's doing in the game. Death striking ships. Literally death striking cruiser, destroyer, and even battleships if they are low in HP. Like, come on. It's not even funny giving the pings like this on these torpedoes. And at number 1, I don't think so it's gonna be a surprise for you guys if you are watching my channel consistently. If you are a consistent viewer, you know that I rate this ship to be the absolute broken ship that Wargaming has ever added in the game. I still think it's extremely powerful after a lot of games. It has too much firepower because of the survivability. I mean, you have insanely increased survivability, and that's what really makes you last longer compared to any other ship in brawling, because it's the definition of a brawler. Like, literally, it basically revolutionized the way that you can brawl in this battleship. If you are understanding that it has a citadel, if you understand that it has a citadel and you stay angled, and then your secondaries, if they keep running on it, you will keep having this combat instructions that will just give you infinite DCPs, means you will never gonna take fire damage. I have talked about this in my field review. You can go and check that out if you want to. You just need to check my channel and you will eventually find out that full review on Valparaiso. And then you have the heals. These are almost super heals that can heal your HP 20,000 per heal. And you have 7 of them. And you can have 8 of them with the help of, I would say, this improved party readiness. And go figure. You have like 166,000 HP that the enemy ships have to burn down in order to kill you. Which means it will just take every one of the enemy ships focus towards you. And well, it's a 12 versus 12 in randoms, right? Where it's still gonna be difficult to kill this ship. Like if there are a lot of focus, Valparaiso will eventually die. Yeah, sure, that can happen. But consider this in brawls. Consider this in ranked battles where they're like ships like 6 versus 6. I'm telling you, that battleship will literally run so that they won't get into the secondary batteries. Because the moment the secondary batteries come and start to farm you, they not only set insane fires, because these are Ohio. The tier 10 Ohio has these secondaries, 127mm secondaries. Yes, they don't pen like Los Andes. Yes, the Los Andes is having better guns, like secondary guns that just have 59mm pen. It does not have it, but man, you set tons of fires with 10% fire chance. And go figure, 2.5 seconds, 10% fire chance. The secondaries have dispersion like Georgia, Ohio, Massachusetts. Like Ohio dispersion, secondary dispersion, and Ohio secondary fire, you have it in this Valparaiso with better range compared to Ohio, at least. Yes, you don't have that extended secondary battery range that you get on Los Andes, but man, you are literally a cockroach that just refuses to die. You will never gonna die if you know what you're doing. If you're not gonna take torpedoes from destroyer, if you know that there's a destroyer, if you don't push the torpedo boat destroyers, if you know there's a carrier, that the carrier can potentially farm you, but even then, if the carrier farms you and it's not like really good carrier play, you can still push. The tier 8 carrier is still gonna be having a difficulty killing this ship, unless it's like Kaga with a shit ton of torpedoes and it's coming again. Because again, even if they're trying to focus, your anti-defense is actually, I'm not gonna say good, but it's above average. And I would say sometimes good, because your AA, the firing range is 4 kilometers. It starts from 4 kilometers, and usually you don't get this on battleships. The battleships have firing range of 3.5 kilometers. And your medium range aura starts from 4 kilometers. So the moment the CVs come into 4 kilometers rather than 3.5 kilometers, your medium range AA, which is like heavy AA, is just gonna shoot down planes pretty nicely. I'm not gonna lie that. And then your long range AA is also okay, but I don't think so that's gonna be a lot of difference for a CV player, for the enemy CV player. So really good. And then you have improved pan angles. You have 381mm guns. Yes, you don't have HE, because they try to copy it the way like San Martin. The San Martin also have this sort of ability to just constantly reload the consumables, but it takes a bit of a time once you press the F key. It just instantly reloads the consumables because of 95%. Like, and then you have you literally have no downside. Like, zero downside. Your cooldown time, unlike San Martin, is 80 seconds. Like San Martin, because of this F key, is it's so powerful. The F key is so powerful that Wargaming has balanced the San Martin with the help of longer duration of cooldown time. And I don't exactly remember. Maybe I can just compare it with San Martin. You will eventually find out. Cooldown time, 80 seconds. In the Valparaiso. San Martin, significantly long. The heal, the consumables, at least not the DCP. And then your specialized repair teams, again, the cooldown time is 80 seconds. No, I would say there's like you're not getting penalized or punished in your consumables reload time like San Martin. That's what I want to say. And this is in the Valparaiso. Like, its definition of a broken ship. You will always DCP. The fires and floods never gonna tick your HP down. Maybe you can say, oh, there's a Conqueror. Conqueror takes a lot of fires and flood damage and tank that fires and flood damage, and he'll that HP back. Well, in the Valparaiso, you don't need to do that. You will just instantly DCP, 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 and whereas your heals will only gonna be specifically gonna be healing the penetration damage, which by the way is 80% penetration, 85% penetration damage that you can heal, which is insane. And then you can also heal 33% of the citadel damage. So yeah, I have explained it, but I have explained it again just to basically tell you that why this ship is insane. And by the way, I haven't even talked about that. 7.8 seconds of rudder shift? Bro, I'm telling you, there are some cruisers like Salem that's not even like, look at this. 8.6 seconds of rudder. Like, cruisers have worse rudder shift than Valparaiso. Bro, yes, I have not used the damage con mod 2, but you don't need to. You even at long ranges, if someone shoot HE, it's not you have limited DCPs. You have unlimited. So you can at long ranges can DCP and disengage. Meanwhile, the cooldown time is still 73.7 seconds. Bro, go figure this ship. Go figure. And you can have, and I haven't even put this insane captain, Joachim Marcus Lisboa, that unique captain that just makes it, not only it makes its speed 5% better, it's also gonna improve the combat instructions 20% better. And then your secondary is reload time 22.5% better, which I'm not doing it in Valparaiso. Imagine if I do that in Valparaiso. I don't know, man. Oh my goodness, this ship is just absolutely ridiculous. I mean, if you think it's not that powerful, man, I'm not gonna. You have a skill issue, bro. I'm telling you, this ship is very. It's a nightmare, man. It's extremely toxic to fight against. It's toxic. It's more toxic. Yes, the destroyer can counter you. Yes, the carriers might counter you, but the destroyers have the highest chance. If you're able to just figure out the destroyers thing, then you can just push on cruisers, on battleships. If you're not in crossfire, you are not dead. You're just gonna be tanking stupid damage. Yes, your fighting angles might not be that good enough. Yes, you have poor fighting angles. You have exposed citadel. But I mean, a good player can just mitigate these all of these, like just a bit of weaknesses, and just utilize the strengths that are just absolute broken. So, I hope you liked the video. I hope you like this top 5 released ships, tech-free ships, premiums of 2025. Well, the list will continue. I don't know what ship that they will be releasing to be broken, but I will be showing you that as well. But by the way, there's a free premium ship that I would say is also very strong. And in fact, you can get it right now in this dockyard. And that is the Gambia, the River Gambia. Let me show you that quickly. This is sort of a bonus ship that I want to review, or maybe give you some idea that why this is so good. So I was talking about the Gambia. You can get it for free if you just grind out this dockyard, and I highly recommend you this cruiser. Why? Well, to give you a very short TLDR, it's almost, and it might be making you feel a bit weird when you hear this, that it's almost like a Belfast, which is the most broken cruiser in my opinion at tier 7. Yes, it has radar. The Gambia does not have, and I think that's the big difference. If the Gambia would have the radar, it becomes almost as good as Belfast with its own differences. It's that good. Why? Look at this. 8.8 seconds of reload time, 12% fire chance with 2.3k alpha. Yes, the reload time is slightly worse, but you have improved HE alpha. Meanwhile, in the Belfast, pretty much the same guns, 7.5 seconds of reload time. Yes, that's where Belfast is slightly better. The DPM, you can see 201k DPM. But this is not too far, as you can see, 188k DPM. So you're having almost a DPM of Belfast. And by the way, you have, I would say, one of the very good smokes in this game. Short burst smoke generators, 7 of them. Yes, the Belfast have long smokes, but you have smokes. And you have that in the Gambia. And Gambia can farm battleships like crazy with this insane fire chance, 12% fire chance. Belfast basically also having similar similar, I would say, the fire chance, but slightly worse in fact. As you can see here, 10% fire chance with the flags. I haven't even put the flags. And I mean, if you put the flags, you have like 13% fire chance. So better fire chance than Belfast. Like, and you have exactly the same firing range. I think the guns are exactly the same as well. If you look at that, these are basically the same guns. If I don't know about the shell velocity, maybe there might be differences, but man, it's pretty good. Your concealment, however, is a bit different. It's actually worse compared to Belfast. That's where Belfast definitely shines a lot. But it's a light version of Belfast with having heals, whereas the Belfast does not. It has the hydro and defensive fire. Meanwhile, Belfast, well, does not have a defensive fire. You cannot have like defensive fire if you want to in Belfast. You are only having access to hydro, but the Gambia can do that. Although the anti-air defense is nothing too good, so you always gonna stick to hydro. But it's pretty good package, and you have heals again. Can have the HP potential go up to 40,000, which you cannot do this in Belfast. So you have tier 7 that can heal back. And by the way, I haven't even talked about that unique thing that the Gambia has. I think, they have given that Commonwealth trait on this ship, and that is like airstrikes. You have 3, not 2, you have 3 attack flights, okay? And your range is 8 kilometer at tier 7. This is tier 10 levels of... Tier 10s have access to maximum range of 8 kilometer. I mean, if I compare it to Belfast, now you will be clearly able to see you have only 6 kilometer range in the depth strike. So you can have a very good performance against submarines. So you can just send a lot of these. Yes, I think maybe the difference in compared to Belfast is the damage. Yeah, the bomb damage might be slightly less, but you would still have 3 airstrikes. So you do have that more area to cover to take down that submarine. Is definitely very good. And your torpedoes hit like an absolute truck. You do have torpedoes 7 kilometer only, but they hit like a tier 10 destroyer level of torpedoes. Like these are tier 10 destroyer level damage on these torps. Bro, this is amazing. This is an amazing cruiser that you are getting for free. Do not miss this. This is gonna be really good in the ranked battles. If the ranked battles at tier 7 will come, I think this is one of the very strongest cruiser after Belfast to pick. It's gonna be for sure because of this insane survivability with these sort of perks and the gun performance. Man, it's really good. Absolutely worth it. Anyways, that is it for this video. I hope you like this bonus cruiser and the top 5. I mean, I know some of you might not like this, but man, I mean, there are not a whole lot of ships. Yes, the Monmouth is there, but then there's the Gibraltar. The Monmouth is there, but then there's the Gibraltar. And I would kind of compare it with Gibraltar, the Monmouth, and I'm not going to say that Monmouth is bad. It's actually a really good cruiser, but still, I don't see that in that list for me. For me, these ships are more interesting and powerful for sure, and some of them are free. I like this list for myself, so I hope that you will also like. So please comment me down below what you think. Till then, I will catch you guys later. Peace out.